Hello everyone, welcome back to another Wildrift character guide breakdown. Today we will be covering Sett, the boss. In this video, we will go over Sett's items and abilities, tips and strategies to help you outperform and overcome your enemies in the top lane. Let's begin. Sett is a versatile bruiser with incredible self-sustain, engage potential and true damage burst. He excels in soaking up damage and dishing it back tenfold and can survive more situations than most give him credit for. First, let's review Sett's abilities to understand what makes this character so powerful. Sett's passive, Pit Grit, alternates attacks between his left and right punch, the right punch dealing more damage and is slightly faster. Additionally, Sett gains bonus health regeneration based on his missing health. This ability is one of Sett's strong points, allowing him to thrive in drawn-out fights. Sett's first ability, Knuckle Down, enhances Sett's next two auto-attacks and deals additional damage based on the target's maximum health. Sett also gains a burst of movement speed while moving toward enemy champions. This is Sett's main gap closer, and the move itself is even more useful against other bruisers and tanks. Sett's second ability, Haymaker, is what defines Sett's entire playstyle. When Sett takes damage, he stores it as grit and can later release it to gain a shield, punching the area in front of him, dealing true damage to enemies in the center and physical damage on the sides. Sett can increase the damage of this ability by either building more health or more AD. Sett's third ability, Facebreaker, pulls in all enemies on both sides, dealing damage and stunning them. If enemies were only on one side, they are instead slowed. This is Sett's main CC tool and works to lock enemies down to set up your max grit Haymaker. Sett's ultimate, the Showstopper, is Sett's best disruption and engage tool. Sett grabs and carries an enemy through the air and slams them onto the ground, dealing damage and slowing all enemies near the impact. The impact damage is increased based on the bonus HP of the enemy champion carried, making it extremely dangerous for squishies if a high HP target lands on top of them. I recommend maxing out Sett's first ability first. It's his most consistent form of damage, and the AD ratio of his max health damage increases. Next, his second ability. It increases the base damage and lowers its cooldown so you can use it more frequently. And lastly, his third ability. Sett is a rushdown bruiser that relies on dealing just as much damage as he can soak up to be able to remain a considerable threat. Items that increase both his AD and HP should be your top priority. Items such as Heartsteel, Black Cleaver, Titanic Hydra, or Divine Sunderer. All of these items synergize well with Sett's kit and increase his survivability and damage output. On the defensive side, Thornmail, Guardian Angel, Spirit Visage, and Dawn Shroud are all excellent choices and fit into any of Sett's builds. As for boots, Mercury Treads and Plated Steel Caps are the top choices and are matchup dependent, and for enchantments, Gargoyles for survivability, and Protobelt for an extra gap-closing tool. Sett has a lot of options for runes. The two best primary runes I recommend are Grasp of the Undying and Conquerors. They both provide the sustain and damage Sett needs to thrive in lane and team fights. The minor runes I recommend starting from the Resolve tree are Courage of the Colossus, Second Wind, and Overgrowth. Depending on if the enemy team has high burst damage, you can instead take Bone Plating and pick up some Tenacity when facing hard CC comps. For the precision side, Triumph, Giant Slayer, and Legend, Tenacity are going to be Sett's best options. These runes give Sett more team fight potential and further enhances his damage against tanks and other bruisers. Sett's best secondary rune is Demolish to help take down turrets faster in the late game when stacking HP. Sett has a formidable level 1, so if you have a winning matchup, don't be afraid to take a level 1 fight. Your passive regeneration and second wind rune will keep your health topped up more than your opponents if they don't have the same level of sustain. Sett has a strong power spike at level 3 and an incredibly powerful all-in at 5. Don't be afraid of taking trades, utilizing your grit, and using your EW combo to guarantee the true damage hits or force them to use their flash. After taking the first tower, the objective is just to initiate fights in other lanes and take the other tier 1 towers if they're still standing. In the late game, you should have incredible tankiness, and your main job now is just to peel for your teammates and create opportunities with your Ulit mate or E ability. Knowing when to use your W is going to be the key to surviving in team fights. The bulk of your success will come from your decision-making and timing. Sett is a powerful duelist, but always keep in mind his kit provides the best value towards winning when near his teammates. A few tips to keep in the back of your head when playing Sett. Number 1, Sett's first ability is an auto-attack reset. After you finish your 1-2 auto-attack, immediately activate the skill to quickly exchange 2 more auto-attacks, greatly increasing his overall DPS in short skirmishes or early game fights. Number 2, Sett's total grit meter scales off 45% of his total health, and the percentage that will be converted to damage is based on your AD. It is generally easier to stack more HP than it is AD, so if you want to achieve the highest amount of Haymaker damage without sacrificing survivability, you should always choose more HP. Realistically, you only need 2 AD items to get your conversion limit to a reasonable amount, and if those items also have HP included, it's a win-win situation. Number 3, Sett has multiple flash combos with both his W and E abilities. The W ability is easier to pull off as you can flash at any point as long as the animation is playing, which can be used to deceptively get off a counterblow kill and potentially secure a kill. The E combo is a bit harder as the animation is significantly faster and you'd have to flash as soon as you activate the ability. With that being said, it can be an incredibly useful tool if you need to catch someone out or force a flash. Finally, Sett's E stuns if there are enemies on both sides. That includes minions. So if you want to land your Haymaker more consistently, position yourself inside a minion wave or near minions or monsters to stun the enemy instead of slowing them to guarantee the true damage hit. Sett suffers against champions that can poke him and chip away at his health with little difficulty. Champions such as Pantheon, Volibear, Fiora, Malphite, Aatrox, Renekton and Garen can give Sett a hard time in lane due to being able to initiate, deal damage, and get out before you can properly retaliate. Against these matchups, it's better to farm than to fight, unless the enemy doesn't know what they're doing and constantly makes mistakes. Some favourable matchups for Sett include Irelia, Teemo, Wukong, Shen, Ornn, Nautilus and Narcissus. Sett excels at fighting these champs because they don't have enough poke to whittle down Sett in lane, and they all require themselves to get within Sett's comfort zone to deal the bulk of their damage, which in turn makes it easier for Sett to build up his grit and dish out a powerful Haymaker counterattack. And with that, we reach the end of the guide. Sett is a powerful bruiser able to shake up any team fight with his abilities, making him a perfect fit in almost any team comp. Use these tips to further develop your Sett gameplay and become a dominating force on the Rift. If you learned something new, give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to stay in the loop for more Wild Rift character guides. If you have a suggestion for what champion you would like to see next, comment it down below. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.